Welcome back. This is week 2, episode 3 of the second season of DGNYC. The Degenerates. I live in New York City. Ben, where do you live now?
I'm still in Cincy. I'm still in Cincy, baby.
Okay. Well,
I'm
what's
still
going?
I'm still in the Queen City. I'm in my closet.
But tonight I'm cleaning out my closet.
I'm doing the opposite. I'm adding to it.
Oh, really?
Oh my god, dude! I'm sure we'll get into it because this is gonna be a mega pod. So
This
we're
is the
gonna do
Megapod.
we're gonna do some picks. Probably we can either do picks in the first or the second half, whatever you want.
Okay.
But we can definitely go in our moving stories. I'm sure we have combo moving stories.
I'm sure there's some good comparisons.
But before we get into that, I do want to do some week 2 cleanup. I want to go through. I want to look back because we got to know our history, so
We
we're
got
not
it.
going to repeat these losers, and we also got to know what winners we pulled in. So go there.
Yep.
I'm just going to run down the card. I'm going to do our current standings.
Okay.
Frankie Dimes, do you know what you're at currently?
I'm down 1 unit, I think.
I have you down 2 units.
Ah.
You're down 2. It's okay. Yinzy F Baby is sitting at a plus 5.65. So we're still up almost 4 units.
Wow.
Together, cohesion. We tell you to bet all these picks together because we don't know who's going to be hot. We always know one of us is going to be.
We don't know who's going to be hot.
We don't know. Frankie said he's going to make a big charge this week.
No, I'm going to tell you right now. I love the board this week.
I've been struggling. So I was telling you right before we got on that I was looking at the board. I'm like, I don't know what I like, but I'm going to do a quick recap and I want you to give me I want you to defend these picks, or I want you to just say they were dog shit. I want you to defend or die. All right.
Okay.
Western Kentucky, +2 unit winner. You gonna defend that? That was a backdoor cover.
No, I'm gonna defend it because we got screwed on a different one. So I deserve this winner. I saw it I watched a lot of this game, probably more than most people. I will admit it was very lucky that we picked up a victory, but we deserve a victory.
We did.
Truthfully, we deserve a victory.
I know where you're going. I want you to hold off. Because I know
I'm not going to say anything about the other game. Yeah. We're talking about WKU.
And that was a +2 unit
play for you. That was a 2 unit. Yeah.
That was 2 unit bomb for both of us.
It was a syndicate lock.
Syndicate lock. Iowa under. That was a winner for you as well.
Listen, Brian Ferentz, guys, he has to score 25 points a game. Otherwise, his dad fires him. Well, dude, they had a chance to kick a field goal and get to 27, and they're like, no, we're going for it on 4th and 1. And they didn't convert it. And so it's pretty funny to me. Now, you got the Cy-Hawk Bowl this week, which will probably be like 10-9. Mm-hmm. So you ain't getting it this week.
No, you're not. Now, so we had the portion of that we enjoyed. Frankie, I'm just going to rapid fire. UTSA -1. Your thoughts?
We got a bad spot in the 4th quarter. All right. We got a bad spot. If we get that spot in the 4th quarter, that game could go entirely differently. I still believe in the triangle. Jeff Traylor, UTSA, meet. I still believe in the Roadrunners, but we got to Dana grease the refs' pockets on that spot.
He's been known to. What about Penn State under 51? Was that the biggest shit show you've ever
seen?
Dude,
shut up. Oh.
Do you tell the people what happened that didn't watch that game?
So for all the okay, first off, Yinzer and I both West Virginia graduates, so we're speaking with a large portion of bias. Both of us have spent a lot of time in Pennsylvania. Ben is from there. I lived there for a while. Penn State is a cult, and so we've dealt with these people for far too long.
Yeah.
For them to say West Virginia's ring around the rosy 2-point play is why Penn State decided to run up the score, you don't know ball. West Virginia gets the 2-point conversion. And then they go for the onside kick. They have all 3 timeouts. Say we get the ball on the onside kick, score, and then it's a 1-score game. And then the 2-point conversion, you needed that to get back in the game. And then obviously James Franklin does what James Franklin does, which is the most, I'm going to have to censor myself on this, the most he's ever done in his life, which is just he just runs the score up all the time. And I tell you what, he's too, because I'll never forget when they played Ohio State in like 2018, 2019, he ran a zone read with Trace McSorley on 4th down. They didn't get it. He was walking out of the stadium and a student goes, Coach Franklin, I love you, but that wasn't the right call there. And you know that. And he ran him down. Like he ran up to him and he's like, I'm going to kill. Like he wanted to kill a student for making the right call. And so then they put the 2nd string in, they run down the field, they go for it on 4th down. There's 4 seconds left, and they score the ball. And that And there was a West Virginia alum next to me. I went to the W alumni bar. I don't drink because I'm huge, but I went to the W alumni bar, and there was these like 10 white kids that went to Penn State. They were in there chanting, doing all the cults that Penn State does. And I don't know why they were there. It was pretty funny though. At halftime, this one guy goes, "Bro, why are we only up by 7?" Which I thought was really funny. The fact they were chanting like in our bar, like it's ridiculous. But
should have ran him out.
He runs up the score and all this and that, and then all the Penn State people try to defend him. You know, it was Stewart's. Oh. It's if Stanford Steve and SVP on Monday morning on Bad Beats are like, yeah, Coach Franklin was a dick for this. You're in the wrong.
And what's different is it's not running it up because the game's over. Like
the game is over.
There's 4 seconds left. And I mean, there's just between running it up and people are like, oh, if you don't like it, stop it. No, because it's the end of the game. It's not going to affect anything. There's no style points to be gained. And it's one of those things where, 100% he did it because he knew the line. And anybody that tells you otherwise is bullshit. He knows the donor stuff. You want to say good for him on that. But like to lose that game on that play is just utter bullshit. And like I said, and that happened, honestly, we'll go into this. There was a couple other games this weekend where that shit kept happening.
Yeah.
Go back to the Western Kentucky game. USF, there's no time left. There's 15 seconds, and USF is throwing the ball in the end zone. I don't know what is happening this year in college football. It happened in the Penn State game. It happened
in Louisville.
Game, and it happened in Louisville, where these teams are out of it, and they're still trying to score. Even the Florida State game the other night, which we were on the right side of, like the game's over, and Florida State is still trying to score. So I don't know what this is. I don't know what this pissing contest is, but that's one we can defend. We might move the one we can't. Frankie Dimes, TCU minus 20.5. Your thoughts?
We're on to next week.
Okay, no comment. We're just going to bury that. We're going
to bury the tape. We're going to bury the football.
Can we
listen? I've never been more wrong about.
Same.
I've never been more wrong, and guess what? I'll admit it. I was wrong.
Yeah, that's all needs to be said. But hey, you know what? Frankie Dimes still broke even that week. Yinzy,
shout out the top me off.
Can I please take a victory lap last week?
Take the floor, Yinzy. Take the floor.
Okay, I remember you asked me last week. You said, "Give me some money lines." Right? Do you remember the money lines I gave you? Do you remember who they were?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, a hungry dog runs faster.
Duke, Florida State, and Wyoming. I gave all 3 on the pod. All 3 winners. One of my buddies put that in a money line parlay for $20 and won like $950. So I bet him straight. I bet all those though, but he put in a parlay and he sent me a ticket, so he owes me a case of beer. But that was
my Akron, my Zips covered.
The Zips did. So
I said Akron.
But I'm going to run through my picks last week. The Penn State we already talked about. We're not going to defend that.
Yeah.
Alabama over 17.5. They had 14 points 5 minutes into the second half. That was a walk. Florida State plus 7 won outright. Duke plus 17.5 won outright. Those alternate parlays do not lose here. The alt parlays don't lose. We haven't lost.
I'm going to ride with you on the alt parlay this week.
I got one. And then we had Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky got lucky, but who cares? We got screwed on the other one, so that evens it out.
We deserve that.
Overall, like I said, I'm up 5 and 5.65 units. Frankie down 2, but he's going to get in the plus money this week.
Oh, I'm coming back for it all this week. Big week.
I'm coming. But so pretty much that's just a recap. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. Not only just trends we're noticing in college football. Obviously, the big one is games are playing a little faster.
Yeah.
The analytics will say, hey, the unders and the total plays are pretty close, but
I'm not seeing a big difference in the plays per game.
What I'm noticing is, though, the biggest thing is we need to pay attention on teams, those run heavy teams.
Yeah.
That clock that's where you're really going to get it because there are still teams thrown out. So we need to look at these run heavy teams because, that I can't imagine the Navy Army over under might be 27 this year.
Yeah. And both apparently Army stinks. I mean, they lost this past week to UL Monroe.
Ooh, that's not
shout out Terry Bowden.
But that's one thing we do need to keep an eye on. And the other, we already talked about the other, we're seeing it, these teams out of the game still trying to score. And that is one thing that I wanted to just preach to people, which I actually did in the Penn State game, is if you are close to the number and it looks like it's not in reach and you have a cash out option, just take it. Eat that 5 to 7% that you might get on the thing. Take your cash out. I did it with the West Virginia Pitt game on mine. I cashed out at about 86% of the value, or it would have been a loss. So that's how you turn these wins, these losses into wins, and that's how you keep this bankroll growing, because it's all about unit management. And I tell people the cash out option is not a bitch option. It's securing your hard-earned money, because especially with these coaches this year, you don't know what they're going to do in the last minute. It's not like pros where these guys kneel the ball and want to get out of there. These guys just want to get snaps.
Yeah, if you're James Franklin, I want to get my two deep in. I want to get my third string right guard needs reps.
What a fucking joke. What a fucking
He's
joke.
always been that way. Do you remember when he kicked that field goal a few years ago?
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's like, I need to get my second team field goal block out there. Like,
it's shit like that's just stupid. I mean, it's one of those things where obviously, like, I don't even care about the game, but it's just like, why are you doing annoying. That? If I'm Neil Brown, I'm like, just cut every single player, just absolutely smoke the quarterback on the play until he kneels the ball. That's how you get like. But whatever, let bygones be bygones.
We'll see him next year in Morgantown when Rich Rod runs wild on him.
God, what a fever dream that would be. So we didn't get to talk about this. How did the move go? Do you have power? I can see there's a light behind you.
I have Wi-Fi, and I finally have my mic.
You have your mic.
It sounds good.
Can you tell people what moving is like in New York City? Because it's not like moving anywhere else. Like, tell me, I listen to the pod and I listen to, like, do you just throw away all your shit because you're moving upstairs? Do you just like throw away all your shit and just
you have to have serious talks with yourself about what's valuable and what's not? Serious mirror reflection time. I had an awesome couch I was going to fit in my room. You can see my room here. It's pretty spacious. Yeah. I could fit a couch, but if I had the couch in here, I wouldn't be able to walk around. So I had to throw the couch out. Also, carrying it up 4 flights of stairs, not ideal.
Didn't you make a move one time where you just like carried everything like across the fucking city?
That was my most recent move. So it was not the one I did, but the one before that.
Okay.
I was technically homeless, which is why I wasn't the commissioner of the fantasy football league.
We kicked you out.
And I had a place to stay 2 blocks down, but it wouldn't be sensible to rent a moving van for 2 blocks. So I just carried everything 2 blocks. Oh my God, it was the hardest workout of my life because I lived on the 5th floor. And so I would just go up and down the 5th floor to take my stuff like 2 blocks away. It was incredible.
I can't believe that, dude. I'm moving literally from the 1st floor of my apartment to the 4th, and we have elevators. And I'm like, this has taken like 4 days. I don't know how you did it, but yeah, I know. I left last time we talked on the pod. I had like literally my movers calling me the day before their show was canceled.
What is that?
So, it's some bullshit, is what it is. And I'm the last person you want to get a bad name in this town. I'll just leave it at that.
That's right.
Leave it at that. I don't want places where you need your passport out. I'm heavy there. Leave it right there. But
can I get my point in?
Can I get my point in? But no, dude, we just had to scramble to get these people in. And like what's going on is I'm now moving in with my girlfriend. So not only is my stuff my stuff getting lost to just not wanting to move, it's just like my stuff is shitty, like dude furniture and dude stuff. So like she just takes a look at my shit and just throws it away. She's like, it's not giving, it doesn't match the aesthetic. And just like if it's not like the white girl beige, like millennial vibe, like
come on,
not happening.
Come on.
You know what? You gotta just I'm sitting here in my closet of things that I was allowed to keep, and I'm happy. You know what? I have my winners.
I'm sitting here in the closet of the things that I'm allowed to keep. That's what and I've been to your ADA accessible apartment in Cincinnati. This is all you're taking with you? Is this?
You'll see the next place. I mean, do you have your Mountaineer overalls? My gussets?
Sure.
Yeah, those got lost. Those were lost during the West Virginia Pitt game last year. Some things happened. I did have to save a friend from a random fight on a subway platform, and they may or may not have gotten torn. Just leave it at that.
You taking the T in Pittsburgh? What is that?
We're taking the T, and one of my buddies was talking. Listen, we're like 2 West Virginia people in a sea of like 5,000 Pitt fans, and a lot of shit talking. So you know what? The gussets are down but not out. I'm not buying another pair until we fire Neil Brown, and then I'll go to the party source in Morgantown. Shout out. Free plug.
Dude, I used to go, man, when I was a kid, I used to go to Morgantown like for football game day. Man, I would blow a bag in book exchange. My dad would work 40 plus hours a week to take me to a game that he didn't care about. Dad, take me to book exchange. Oh, so God.
The ideal loop if you were a true hero, because Tudors wasn't around then. So
no,
you would go to the book exchange, you'd hit up the Kroger parking lot.
Okay.
and then you'd have to either go to the Boston Beanery
The boss. I do remember the Boston Beanery.
or Wings Olay. The real ones, remember Hardee's on Van Voor's. That's a real one.
Hardee's on Van Voorhis.
Yeah, that's a real one. Right off Don Knotts Boulevard. Shout out, Rip.
My grandfather did Don Knotts laundry in college. That's his claim to fame.
How big was Don Knotts?
He was packing.
Was he? Did he reinforce this?
Yeah, he was 110 pounds, but it was all.
He was 109. He was 109 with alcohol. That's true.
I can't wait to see how many beeps I give myself this episode.
Well, that's like every time you beat me, you beat me for like 3 seconds longer, so people think I just said the most horrid racial
Which is
slur.
funny.
But like I would be talking about something and I would say like one thing and you'd bleep it, and then it'd be like, what did Ben like? What slur could he possibly get from like Memphis? I'm like, I don't know.
And another beep.
Just long, just 30 minutes of bleeps.
Not working beep. Lazy beep.
And that's why my Instagram mentions and DMs are just filled with, just people for prayers and hate speech, and that's fine. I get some targeted followers. But here's something else I wanted to talk about, because now this goes up. I am living with someone. I haven't lived with someone in like 4.5 years.
Okay.
So you gotta understand, you have roommates. I've always lived by myself. And like a lot of people are like, oh, what do you guys?
But our roommates are different. You get a hookup with your roommate.
Sometimes.
I don't get a hookup with my roommate.
You don't, because didn't you live with like 3 chicks last year?
Lived with 2 girls last year, and we were great pals.
Didn't hit any one of them?
No.
Charmin.
That's how you have the worst year of your life.
I would randomly keep going across the hall just to keep them on the level. Like that's how I would like if the one didn't do her dishes, I would just go to the other one's room and I'd be like, you know what? Maybe I appreciate a clean apartment. Yeah, you're like the sheriff with your cock. It's just like that's how you keep the order in this town.
You got to keep town in order.
That's right. Like I'm bringing law and order back to this town.
That's what I call my right and left testicle: law and order.
Law and order. Do they make like the noise when you walk? Toom, toom, like when you walk in a room.
All 3: the piece and the balls, judge, jury, executioner.
That's pretty strong.
It's tough.
It's pretty tough.
The triangle. Jeff Traylor. Shout out. Utsa. Meet.
You just call your girl. You're like, you want to come over and meet the hangman? And she's like, what?
The gallows.
The gallows is a strong name. I think I'm gonna that.
Can I ask you this? Let me ask you this. As a Pittsburgh guy, that song talking about the gallows, the Steelers defense.
Renegade.
Renegade. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Renegade's a tough song. Renegade, listen, any Yinzer to his core is gonna love when Renegade hits. Like if I'm at a wedding or something, I hear Renegade, like I might just like high-low like somebody's grandma. Like I'm coming unblocked and I'm just trucking her.
If that song doesn't make you want to fly off the football.
Bro, I'll grab whatever. I'll rip a girl's top off and start waving the towel if I hear Renegade. Like
I'm surprised there hasn't been a Yinzer chick that's made a dress out of the terrible towel.
I guarantee that's there. I guarantee that exists somewhere.
So these are my Pap's old terrible towels, and I sewn them together because he died in a steel accident.
Let me tell you, the problem is the girl that would wear that would not. There's not enough material on the terrible towel she could tear it off. She'd have to like 60. Listen, those Pittsburgh. Would James Harrison consider that disrespect to the terrible towel? Depend. Honestly, you know what? I'm not gonna give you my real answer. I'll give you my answer off air. But I will tell you this, and shout out, love my Pittsburgh people. The girls that are wearing Steeler jerseys not on Sunday are always big girls. Like they're big. Like you could see, like you'll see someone's like 75-year-old aunt rocking like a Tommy Maddox jersey, a giant eagle, and she thinks it's tough.
Dude, that's awesome. Oh my god.
Like I've seen so many old ladies rocking like a Randall L jersey, and you're like, is that a order jersey? Like, no, they're not doing it. They're not buying Pat. Like once Cower left, they're like, I'm not buying another jersey.
Once Cower left.
Tommy Gun Automatics.
Dude, Tommy Maddox. That's a name. I was more of a Slash fan myself. More Cordell Stewart. That was probably the first player when I was a kid that like other than Dan Marino that stood out in my brain was Cordell Stewart because
NFL Blitz legend.
Yeah, because he could catch, he could throw, he could punt.
Yeah.
I love that.
Cordell was a beast, and he got born about 15 years too early.
Some might say, dude, I hope this podcast blows up so we can do live shows in Pittsburgh because I truly love that city.
It's a great town.
I really love that place.
We've had so many good trips, just so many boys trips in Pittsburgh, so many good times at Lefty, so many good times just in the strip and having beers and just crushing brews.
What's that one place called that we went with the games? Coupe de Ville.
Hoop DeVille was a good time.
Hoopville's good.
Walters, shout out Walters, which
I
I
s-
donated. I don't know how I don't have a wing at Walters after all the money I spent
I spent
there.
like $18 on a gourmet grilled cheese in that hippie neighborhood,
You have to be a little more specific in that story.
the one where Sambo lives.
Laurierville,
Yeah,
Lawrenceville, shout out.
I lived in Wexford though, which is very
Very. Were
suburban.
you dating were you like a Pittsburgh Penguins wife at the time?
Dude, how did you know that? Like, that's like I would see them all the time. I would see them and the Pirates all the time.
They all live out there. So
Yeah,
I'm not cracking any code. I'm not some Yinzer's not taking notes. Like, are you kidding me?
you told me I could meet Mario out there.
Morier. And like, yo, does Kenny Pickett live out here?
No, Kenny Pickett and Morgan Wallen share an apartment.
They share a striking resemblance.
Yeah.
They also, probably not the first time they've made. Have you seen the completely random hit? Did you see the video of the girls fighting in the porta potty in Pittsburgh?
Oh yeah, that one chick. That one chick's got some hands.
She did. I showed out that pic and her the video, and I was like, "These are the girls I had to leave behind for you." Do you see these? These girls are scrapping.
Just know they're always there
Just know they're a
because they ain't leaving. They ain't leaving
they're
Pittsburgh.
not.
They're
Oh,
not
God,
leaving the
they're-
412.
No,
On the
they're
back
not.
of their car, they have that Pirates, Penguins, Steelers logo
The
combo.
tri-
The try,
little
yeah.
penguin.
I tell you
like,
what, when I
hey-
was a kid, I thought that logo was tough. I'm not gonna lie.
I may or may not have bought a T-shirt off like a 75-year-old black dude down near PNC.
Bitch,
Park.
I'm a Steeler.
Bitch, I'm a Steeler. Oh shit! But this is something that I wanted to I was gonna sound it off with you through text, but I thought it'd be better to go back and forth. So
Okay.
now that because I'm trying to I feel like I'm like Mike Greenberg. I'm just relating everything. Colin Cowherd just relating everything that's going on currently in my life. So now, like everyone's working, like whenever you move in with somebody, you're trying to think like, how do you assimilate? How do you do this?
Yeah.
My biggest thought is, how do I convince my girlfriend to sign up for all of the sports betting signups in her name? Because like I was gonna like soft launch it to her, but she's gonna ask me questions like, what about taxes? Like
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, what are you worried about? Like, what are you worried about? Like, and like, how do I give her something like, hey, you can buy that super expensive quilt you want, but we also need to sign you up for these 6 sports books.
Because I've tried this with people in the past.
Yeah.
And they're never really gonna understand positive expected value betting unless they've been gambling for like 10 years.
No.
They're never gonna understand that. So what you're gonna have to promise them is that you'll be like, I'll eat the losses. I'll eat the losses.
Or I could just be like, hey, honey, I need your social security number and your driver's license for this very important document. And, we just rip like 30 sports books. What do you think about that?
I think that'd be dope, man. You know how many you could get? One, you could ARB or
everything.
Oh, you could ARB everything. You could get through all the sign up bonuses. You could do what else could you do before you get caught?
Here's what I think we're going to do. I think we're going to put a pin in this, and I'm going to ask her as soon as we're done, and then we'll circle back to next week with her answer, which I'm sure is going to be something along the lines of, no, you fucking idiot. But we'll see.
Dude, that's one thing I'm excited about now. I need to get a girlfriend so I can sign up on all the sports books for her, churn all the sign up bonuses, and then when they have odds boost, because I'm limited, because I'm actually good, add more units on her account, and then just bank. Oh my God, dude.
I think
this is how Bernie Madoff got started.
I think it's exactly how it got started. I think he was trying to rizz up some chick so he could get an extra $20 on DraftKings. It's a true love story.
Yeah.
But that's something that I've been kicking back. I'm gonna see what she thinks about that.
I like that.
I know I'm gonna have a lot of stories because now that I have to live, I can't just be like a filthy 8 bachelor anymore. So like,
the place was never dirty.
It was never too bad. According to her according to the standards of a grown adult woman, we'll see. According to the standards of 6 dudes sleeping on the floor, it was pretty good. So,
according to the 22-year-olds that come over to my house, my place is pretty nice.
That's such a huge drop of you to say.
Thanks.
22, interesting.
Not 21. That's too young.
What's the difference? Like you're like, oh, you have to have a year out of drinking publicly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to be 22, between 97 and 113 pounds. And if you go to a restaurant and suggest an appetizer, you're no longer interested in them.
I think the age 22 is funny. There was this one dude who was talking to me about gay dudes being 22, and he was talking about the terms twinks and twunks.
Yep, heard them.
You've heard of these? You've heard of these terms?
Yes, I am what is described as the opposite of a twink, I've heard in the industry.
Okay. Well, he said that he goes, you don't want to be a twink for too long because then you turn into a twunk. And I was like, is that not like a hunk twink? He goes, no, a twunk is someone who used to be a twink but then got old. And he
Yeah.
said, you're not going to be 22 forever, sweetie. And I thought that
You know
was
what?
really
He's
funny.
not wrong.
He's
Listen, I
not
think
wrong.
that's like we always talk about. There's seen like a girl that's like cute and hot. Like a girl that's cute at 20 will probably stay cute. A girl that's hot at 20 could go either way.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot of volatility there.
it's
I
you're
always
either
I
gonna-
always went for the late bloomers, the girls that were like the bookworms and like kind of hot that grew into themselves by the
yeah, they
time they
grew
were.
into the you didn't want to be you wanted to like take the glasses off her. Like that was
Yeah,
your move. Like, oh
yeah,
my
like
God.
brush one strand of hair away from her eyes and be like, oh my God, she's a model.
Yeah, I mean that's a more successful plan than doing like the girl that's like 22 that like is a bottle girl for 3 years and then like tries to get into real estate or like sells you something like that tries to like transform your life. That just like does like vague Instagram stories and it's like, ask me how, hun. Like one of those. You don't want to trust
Dude, those girls, the bottle girls and everything, and they dance on the walls at the clubs and stuff
Yeah.
like that. They're hot, man, but like it's like a running back. You know what I mean?
A lot of tread.
A
We've
lot
talked
of
about it.
tread. And I'm not saying like you're going out with a lot of dudes. I'm just saying that lifestyle is not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. Like it's
And I don't pay running backs.
no, we don't. No second contracts here. What's the male equivalent of the girl that's on Instagram like selling either MLM products or just like selling with something? It's like, oh, what's your lifestyle? I'm a health coach.
Fitness dudes. I think it's just fitness people in general.
You wouldn't say like crypto dudes are that?
Crypto dudes could be that, but I don't think crypto dudes are trying to hit on chicks a lot. I think
I think they're strictly about the grind.
yeah, when they think the chicks will come with that.
That's true. I
Um,
mean, sometimes they do.
I don't know. Athletes are male whores, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's well documented.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think that's breaking new ground.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
But I mean, that's like something I've been noticing too. Is like you have seen like I'm slowly getting to the age now where it's like these girls are falling into 3 categories. You have like the girls that are moms and are just like off the radar.
Mhm.
Everything's about their and then they always post like, look how hot my husband is.
Mhm.
And then you look at like, oh gee, him.
Yeah.
Like, oh. I
He's
think
just,
and listen,
he's just like middle management at like Goldman
yeah,
or something like
it's
that.
some dude and he's like in a flannel and you're like, look at my hottie, and I'm like, oh Jesus, like,
Flannel
what-
and vest, and he's got LL Bean boots on. You're going to the
Yeah, he's
pumpkin
definitely-
patch.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'll fuck with a pumpkin patch. It's like that. You have that one. Then you have the girl that's like reinventing herself like every 6 months.
Yoga.
Yoga.
Yeah.
You know, she's doing this. She's got a new job. She's got crystals. She's looking a little burnt, looking a little long in the tooth, and you're like, oh man, that's pretty rough. And then
Yeah, there's one girl in my hometown that I've never met her before, but I see her on Instagram and I look at her and I'm like, I could save her.
You could. Do you have like the savior complex? Do you want to like take the girl out?
I just like want to walk in because she's probably like one of those like girls who's like pretty good looking, but then just becomes a bartender in my hometown.
Yeah.
Like I'm going home this weekend. I really just want to like go to like whatever like bad golf course bar she works at and just be like, let me take you away from this.
Let me take you to the big city.
Yeah.
She's like, what? She's like, look at all them buildings. You're like, I know. You're like
I
showing
know.
her.
I live in one of them.
You're like, I live in one of them. You like take her to Times Square. You're like, none of those lights shine as bright as you. She's like, oh my God.
One day, my picture's gonna be right there.
What a tough thing to say. That's like the first 45 minutes of a Scorsese movie before everyone starts doing blow and give you shit.
Rags to riches.
Yeah.
Get some Tony
It's pretty
Bennett,
tough.
R.I.P.
Rip. Well, let me ask you. We're getting close. I think we're getting close to the pick portion. We've done anything else.
We have 7 minutes until it's the required break.
Yeah, that's the timeout. That's
So
the
let's do 7 minutes of this, whatever we're doing, and then we're gonna get into
we'll
the
just
picks.
regroup.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, what's new? Because we didn't really catch up. What's new since the last time we talked? For all the people listening that we just kind of went off the radar.
Yeah.
Last year. We came back strong.
Yeah.
What's changed?
I had a girlfriend, and then I didn't have a girlfriend. Almost.
How did that
instantly.
go? There was a lot of. Are we going to talk on that? Are we going to save that? Does that stay in the
We
clubhouse?
can talk. We can not stay in the. It doesn't stay in the clubhouse. I'll talk about
What
it.
what was her deal?
You saw her. You saw her.
I did. I told her what's up, and I did see a glint in her eye, and that's when I knew it was over. That's when I knew she wasn't for you. She was for the streets, and that's okay.
You what in her eye?
A little glint in her eye,
What does that mean?
like a glint, like a sparkle. I teach you
Okay.
a new word.
Yeah, you did.
The fuck?
I've never.
Read a fucking book, kid.
Oh, I think did I just mute myself?
Now you're on.
Why can't I hear myself?
I don't know.
All right, we're good now. We're good now. Okay.
From the volume.
So what do you want to know? What are you curious about?
What happened? Why is Frankie Dimes back on the prowl?
Well, I am and I'm not.
Okay, let's hear that.
We've been seeing each other since like October or November of last year.
Wow, that long.
And only like a month and a half ago, we're like, okay, let's be official.
Okay.
And then that lasted about like 3 weeks. And then she's like, let's just go back to the way we were.
So Frankie Dimes,
She's like, I like seeing you and I'm attracted to you and I want to see you all the time. I think
so
she's
she
afraid of
just
commitment. She
she
said
just
something about
made
her prefrontal cortex not being developed, and she's like, I'm 22. I don't know if I should be in a relationship.
was reading a fucking so she's the one reading all the textbooks in the relationship. She's taking like an amateur like bio class at like NYU and just coming out strong.
Yeah, basically.
So Frankie Dimes, if a young lady approached you at the bar and was like, "Hey, I loved you. I loved your set. You want to go back to my place?" Frankie can legally say yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But I would run it by her first. That's the ground rules.
You have to run it. So before you wait a minute, before you have sex, you have to run it by her. Like, hey, I'm going to this. Does she like text you like some dude's coming over to like blow my back out, and you're like, that's LOL.
We haven't crossed that bridge yet.
Okay, so but you're telling me there's a possibility like you could just be at home watching like Rice play,
Yeah,
like Rice played UTSA,
and then my weekend gets ruined.
Yeah, and then she's just like, hey, I met a backup lineman for the New York Giants. He's coming over, and you're
She
just
doesn't like those guys.
the football players.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've
Okay.
seen me. You've seen me.
Okay, he's a backup slot receiver.
Okay.
He's Ryan. She met Ryan Switzer. She likes her West Virginia little like 5'9", 5'10".
Dude, I'm 6'3".
You're sneaky tall.
I am.
You're
I am
tall.
sneaky tall because
You're
I
like
stood.
You're tall how Gumby is tall though. Like you don't have like an imposing presence. Like
Dude,
I'm
I stood next to you and Samwood at last man's retreat, and Samwood goes, "Franco, get taller."
Samwood just hasn't looked down in like 3 years. That's it. His spatial awareness is off.
But long story short, we're still hooking up on the regular, like all the time.
That's nice. I'm happy to hear that.
Thanks.
You know, that's huge for you. But
I'm getting serviced.
Getting service, it's a great way to put it. Asked and answered.
Asked and answered. No, but she is cool, man. She's cool. But it seems like every time I talk about a girl, even dating back to last season and old podcast episodes, next week they're gone.
And I'm the opposite, because if you remember
our
first or second episode, I talked about a girl. Remember the girl I was talking about the furries with?
Yeah.
Now live with her. How about that? Wow. It's
like as Seinfeld where he has a new girl every week. There's probably been about 5 or 6 different girls since that episode for me.
Almost every episode there's a new girl. But for me, just, you know what? I found a girl. I was like, hey,
I'm not happy with it, by the way. It's not like a fun thing.
I don't think it's possible to meet your wife in New York City.
Okay.
I don't think it is. I don't think that's a city for dating.
I was thinking about this today, Yinzer.
Let's hear it.
I don't think I'm ever going to get married.
You don't think so?
No, I think I'm going to be that 45-year-old cowboy out on the road doing his thing.
You're just going to like keep smashing and trashing?
No. I'll probably after I turn 40, I'll probably get real introspective and just like think I can, like, because I'm 40, I'm like super wise and like,
yeah, you're gonna listen to like James Taylor all the time. And
I love James Taylor. I'm just going to post like all this like pseudo intellectual stuff more than I already do.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be my life. And I'm already into the Dead, so it's not like I'm going to get into the Grateful Dead, but I might go to like Joshua Tree or something like that. Yeah, get into that.
Kind of go there. See, I could see that. I'm intrigued by which, right turn you can make in this life where you're just like, you're just like the single dude and you're just like kind of going along with it, like occasionally like making passes at chicks that are like slightly too younger for you, but everyone's like, he's just living his life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you're making it seem like I'm sort of Predator vibes.
You know what? We'll have to see. We'll have to check back at the DJNYC season 20 reunion.
Season 20. If we make this 20 seasons and we get the same viewers or no viewers, that would honestly be funnier than us blowing up.
I think I love it.
I personally like people always ask me if I have a podcast. I say, yeah, but I don't promote it. It's fun to have a secret thing.
I think I would like you to promote it. I feel like I feel like it'd be nice, but you know what? If you want to just like, that's like
let me pop off, and then people will find it.
Then people like go back, and then they'll listen. Then I'll get canceled, and then
and then they're like, "Why does he just talk about college football?" Like, And he always talks about girls and stuff like that whenever he's on stage. And now we have this weird podcast where he talks about like plus 10.5. What even is that?
I'd like to think that like girls go to your show and they're like, "Oh my god, he probably has the greatest podcast ever," and then it's just like 15 minutes of me just rambling.
Yeah.
Like,
They're like, is Franklin even in this?
they're like, "No, he's not. It's fine." They're like, "His
No.
name's on the show. He's an EP. Don't worry about it."
He's an EP.
All right. Well, I think that gave us some good catching up. How about we take a quick 5?
Okay.
I'm gonna go hammer down these picks and let's go do the picks part of it.
Okay, sounds good.
You're huge.
You're huge.
Thank you.
Okay. Back after this. And we're back. Welcome to DGNYC. Back after this, back after the break. What a fun first half of the Megapod.
A little bit off topic from what we usually do. We usually pretty much stick into college football. It's nice to catch up, get a little insight to what we're doing.
Of course.
But let's get to why we're here, which is to win money, and we're gonna do it this week in spades. It's gonna be a big, big weekend.
I've already told you guys I love the board this week.
I'm not as in love, but I still think I found some. I think I found some gold in here. But I'm interested to see. There's a couple games I'm interested to see if you touch. So I'm really interested to hear your picks. How many picks do you have this week for us?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. Okay, I got 4. So I believe I have the winner's tee box rights again.
Yeah,
so
you do have the rights.
How about I go give you 1 and then you give me 2?
Okay, deal.
Cool. All right, I'm going to start off with a 1-unit play. Rutgers at -9.5 versus Temple.
Okay.
I really liked what I saw out of Rutgers last week against Northwestern. I know Northwestern is a great opponent, but I was also not impressed with what I saw with Temple. I think Rutgers can actually step on the gas a little bit this year, which can't be said in a long time. 9.5. That is a lot of points for any Rutgers team, but I really like their running backs.
Temple stinks.
Temple's pretty bad, and that's what I think we talked about this last year, is really jumping on the bad teams early more than jumping on the good teams, is really eating those bad teams. And I think this is a spot where Rutgers is at least 2 touchdowns better. And just after watching how much they controlled everything, the clock, the ball, the defense, Rutgers could have beat Northwestern by 40-some points if they wanted to, and they kind of took their foot off the gas. But I think they're going to handle Temple by about 17 to 20 points. I like that 9.5. I like to do my look aheads, and I thought that was going to be a 14-point line. So based on value, I'm thinking Rutgers 9.5, 1 unit.
I like that. That. I might have to. I might have to come back to that.
It'll be.
So call me George Washington the way I'm owning Virginia this week.
I love it.
Okay.
You're huge.
I absolutely love the games involving Virginia schools this week. Okay. I'm all over them. A hungry dog. Well, it's not a hungry dog. Just call me the Road Warrior. That's what you should call me this week, is the Road Warrior.
Who do you like?
I love Purdue catching 3 at Virginia Tech.
We're not impressed with their Old Dominion showing last week, were you?
Well, it's not only that. It's the fact that Purdue has now proven the ability with Graham Harrell to throw the ball effectively. Yeah. I really like what they have, and it's more so like Grant Wells didn't throw interceptions against Old Dominion. No. Let's see how he does against an actual P5 defense. And Purdue, one of their members of the linebacking corps, was one of the PFF all-week players at linebacker this week. Even though they gave up 40-some points or 38 points to Fresno, still has the ability to make plays.
As weird as this, I liked that game. I actually liked Virginia Tech in it, but not enough to play.
Also, every play for me this week is 2 units because I love the board that much.
Okay, so this is a 2-unit play. Okay,
and I took a money line, so plus 120.
All right, so Frankie Debs, Purdue +3, 2 units. Give me your next
one.
No,
plus 120 money line.
You want the money line or the +3?
I took the money line.
Oh, okay. So
I'm sorry, but they are 3-point dogs.
All right, Purdue.
But 3-point favorite at home, that's a toss-up game.
That is definitely
you know that.
Purdue money line +120, 2 units. All right, give me your next pick. I like it.
I told you I own Virginia, so we're gonna stay there with the Dukes. James Madison laying 6.5 at UVA. I understand this is Virginia's first game back since the tragedy that struck. They're gonna be pumped up. They're gonna be ready to rock. I still think Kurt Signetti gets the boys locked in, ready to roll. 6.5. JMU owns Virginia.
JMU -6. It's weird to say. It's weird to hear JMU laying points on the road
At a P5 school, yes.
at a P5 school, but that's also a 2-unit play, right?
Yeah, they're all 2 units.
Okay, this is going to be a make or break weekend for Dimes. He could be a billionaire after this weekend.
I love the board this week.
I'm going to go to my next play, which is Texas A&M -4.5, 1-unit play.
Okay.
I don't like this Miami team at all. I don't like the quarterback. I don't really like anything.
You don't like Shannon Dawson at OC?
I don't like anything at Miami. And Texas A&M is probably a top 7 team
Right.
if they can get any sort of offense. I liked what I saw last week. Once again, I know I'm taking another road team, but I think this is an easy win for Texas A&M. The 4.5 doesn't bother me. If you wanted to live a little conservatively, you can money line that with somebody, but Texas A&M -4.5. I think this is the year they might have some semblance of an offense. And if they can if they can become a 28 to 31 point team, that defense will lock it up. So this is a really good team. I like what I saw last week from the offense. I think that's going to continue against Miami. 1-unit play, Texas A&M. Roll that one. I think that might be a 2-unit play by Saturday, depending on how much the board kind of shifts for me.
Okay. This next one for me is a 2-unit play. It's a live bullet.
Okay.
It'll be taking the Thundering Herd, Marshall, -1.5 at ECU.
And you will be there.
I will be there sweating out live bullets. The reason I like this pick, I know Marshall struggled with Albany last week. Yeah. Marshall's game is they have a quality defense and they are power run first. They got this running back, Ali. That's their guy. The thing is, ECU, I understand they played Michigan. And it's tough to look at that and be like, well, they couldn't stop the run. Well, Michigan's probably going to make it to the playoffs. So you can't be like, they can't stop the run. However, their lack of angles, like the tackling angles they took themselves, did not impress me at all. Like it's not like they were getting tackles broken. They were just getting blown by or taking bad angles. And so I like Marshall's ability to run and take a victory there.
And then when are you getting into ECU?
I'm flying. Oh my God, dude. This is a nightmare. I'm flying. I'm landing at 4:20 Blaze It on Friday night in Raleigh, Durham, which is not Greenville. It is an hour and a half away from Greenville. I don't know how I'm getting from Raleigh, Durham to Greenville, but that's not going to be that bad, right? Sunday, my flight out of Raleigh, Durham, I'm flying from Raleigh to Charlotte to Columbus, Ohio, and getting picked up from my parents, who I'm meeting from Cuba. But yeah, they're over there. They're over there right now. But I'm flying. I have to get my flight out on Sunday from Raleigh, Durham to Charlotte is at 7 a.m.
Oh my God, dude.
So I have to leave Greenville at like 4 a.m. on Sunday.
Jesus.
And I don't know how I'm supposed to get an hour and a half at 4 a.m. in North Carolina. That's
living dangerous.
I can't take an Uber.
No.
An hour and a half.
No, you can't take an Uber. Not at 4 a.m.
This is bad. This is bad.
I can't. Well, like I said,
I figured I'd cross that bridge when I get there, but
that's gonna be a fun talk on the pod next week.
Yeah, but Marshall -1.5. They're running wild.
2 units. Dimes will be in attendance, which probably means I'll be booking for you all weekend.
No, I made sure I got a lot of action in today.
All right. Well, I'll be here. You know that you're still up. You're still up on my
dude. My player props.
You're still up.
My player props. Shout out Braden Schrager and Garrett Green.
The Bank of Yinzer, you're still good.
Yeah. Also, the podcast charged me $30 this month. I need half that.
You know about that, though.
I've been funding this operation for 2 years.
You know my Venmo. You know where I'm at. I'm not ducking anyway. What about real quick off pod play? And this is why you need to follow our picket account. The Garrett Green over 18.5 rushing yards was
a layup. A layup.
That was over in the first quarter.
Did you hit that too? Did you?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had that one pretty early on in the week.
Yeah,
I think that was one I didn't feel putting on, but I had that. That was probably one of my biggest bets of the weekend, other than Alabama.
I should have put more on it, but
it was a lock. Are you ready?
1 unit.
Are you ready for my next play? It's kind of a weird one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not that weird. Maryland over 37 points against Charlotte.
Okay.
Maryland is just. I love Tagovailoa. I love those receivers. They got Caden Prather, who I think is our third receiver, former Mountaineer.
Yeah.
But Maryland in the past couple of years is an over machine, and especially playing teams that are not very good. Charlotte not in that category. Maryland will run it up, and I think
I love
37. I think we're going to get at least 40 burger out of Maryland.
Okay.
I think we can get in the low 50s with Maryland if they keep their foot on the gas. So give
Okay.
me over 37, 1 unit play, and I'll be looking at some alt totals for Maryland as well to try to bump that number up.
There we go.
So I like that one. Just 1 unit. I have a 2 unit play coming next. But what's your next pick?
My next 2 unit play
Yes.
is Utah on the road, -7 at Baylor.
Okay. And I
Utah.
think
Cam Rising is back.
maybe.
Okay. Well, I got info today that he was back.
I think he's practicing. I think he's going to be a game time. But what's nice is you're getting that bet in now. It's not going to get any better if Cam Rising is confirmed. That's going to go up a little bit. So you're beating the number regardless.
Baylor has not impressed me. And honestly, Dave Aranda, he won the league with Baylor, but since then it's been nothing. Right? He lost to a bad West Virginia team last year and has not done anything. Like, he hasn't improved. How do you get your doors blown off by Texas State?
Lose to Texas State and lose your starting quarterback going against a Utah team that thoroughly handled their business against Florida.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite play of the week is Utah -7.
There's a lot of trap lines this week, and there is a lot of games that you're going to look at and you're going to say, are these lines meant that way to trick you, or are they giving you free money? Because all these, I mean, you can look at the trap lines this week, or Oregon is a trap line. The Utah is probably a trap line.
Yeah.
How about Colorado trap line? Some of these,
I took the candy though.
Oh God,
It's one
of those things where, I mean, you're looking at these games. Look at Notre Dame -7 is a trap line.
Yeah.
This whole week.
I love the board.
Oh God, that makes me nervous.
I love the board, Yenzer.
The fact that I looked at this board, I was like, all they're doing is setting traps. And the first thing Frankie says to me is like, I fucking love the board this week. I was like, oh my God. Oh no. I was like, what are we
I've been gambling since I was 18 years old. I've been gambling for 9 years.
I've been gambling since I was 9. I used to sit in smoky bars in West Virginia and hear some dude tell me how like Omar Jacobs was going to bring us back. I'm like, all right, buddy. All right. I got one more and then we'll end with you. This is a 2-unit play. My alt parlays.
The alt parlay?
They're gold.
Okay.
They're just gold. I mean, if I had to track them through DGen USC history, I bet I'm hitting at an 80% clip.
I believe that. I mean, I'm going to ride with you on this week. Whatever it is, I'm riding.
Notre Dame -3.5.
Okay.
It's NC State.
Okay.
I think it could be a closer game than we think. I think it's a game Notre Dame might pull off late, but I have not been impressed with NC State. Notre Dame has not played anybody, but they have looked great. And Hartman is an absolute machine. Okay. And I think the only thing that worried me was NC State trenches against Notre Dame. That NC State defense has not impressed me. So give me Notre Dame -3.5 with under 63.5 in the Texas-Alabama game. Okay. That is a 2-unit play. That is right around -102, 101. So pretty much even. The Alabama-Texas game, if I had to bet it, I'm taking Alabama. Just because I like Texas from the Big 12. I don't know if they're there yet. I also don't know if Alabama is there yet with the quarterback play.
They're rocking with Milhone or whatever his name is.
He can't really throw the ball. I mean, he can throw it, but he's probably going to rush for 15, 20 times this week.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And this game's going to stay on the ground. I don't think that these teams are going to light the scoreboard. I don't think Saban wants this game to get out of hand. So I think he's going to do a lot to ball control. If I had to predict, it would be like a 35-20, 35-21 game for Alabama. But that is staying under, and I think it stays. It's 55 right now. I'm going to bump that up to 63.5. Notre Dame -3.5, under 63.5. Bama, Texas, 2-unit play. I really like both of those.
You know what? Since your lock of the week is a parlay,
my
lock of the week is a parlay.
Give it to me, buddy.
4 teams straight, money line.
Okay.
Builds to 140.
Love it.
First off, we got Rutgers.
Okay. We love it.
We got Notre Dame.
Love it.
We got Missouri.
Who do they play?
Middle Tennessee.
That's a win.
And then the last leg, which is, I think, the first leg time-wise.
Colorado.
Utah beating Baylor.
Okay. He's linking them up. So plus, what you say, +140?
+140. That's a 2-unit bomb.
2-unit play. You got anything else in the clip for me right now? Anything else you want to add?
I have more picks than you.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 picks already.
And I have 6.
Okay,
right?
Give me a little more.
No, what do I have? How many do I have?
Purdue, JMU, Marshall, Utah, and then the money line parlay. That's 5.
That's 5. And you have 5.
I have 4, but I can add one.
Add one.
Okay. I want you to go, and I'm gonna go through my two that I just left off the board. I'm gonna go through.
I do like a lot of dogs this week off pod, which you can find on my Pickett account. I like a lot of
Yep.
the like I'll take it. Just give it like I like the dogs on pure
Uh-huh.
principle.
Yep.
I think you and I might be going against each other on this next pick.
Give it to me.
Give me the Buffaloes. Give me Colorado -2.5 at home against Nebraska. 2-unit bomb.
Frankie is sprinkling these two. Frankie has 2, 4, 6, 8. You have 12 units out this week. This is the true outhouse or penthouse weekend. Oh my god.
Dude, this is a get back because I'm gonna lose 2 units on my Colorado team total.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to get it back
Get out ahead of it.
here. It's more so I don't believe in Matt Rule than I believe in Dion.
Nebraska loves losing close games. Like
I watched every second of that Minnesota-Nebraska game.
So did I.
Jeff Sims did not impress me.
I got that back door on that game.
I live bet Minnesota money line because I bet with my eyeballs, and that was a big time walk-off field goal. But they did not want to win that game, and Minnesota not very good. Like I understand TCU might just be like bad, but you still hung 48 on the road. I understand you gave up 45, but that's what TCU does. They did that last year. Dude, they did that with SMU. They did that with West Virginia. They did that with everybody they played where they got lucky. They did that on the road against Baylor. Every team they gave it, like, they don't play defense. And you beat them at their own game.
You know what? Let's do it.
What?
Colorado -2.5.
Let's go.
I'll ride it.
Let's go.
This will prove that we're not hard-headed. We faded them last week. I'm gonna back them. I'm terrified of this game. It doesn't make sense. This was a 10-point swing almost. And I was looking at this game and I'm like, there's gonna be 99% of the bets on Colorado.
I know. Everybody's on Colorado.
Nebraska. Let me tell you how this game
But they stink. Nebraska stinks.
Let me tell you how this game is gonna go. Nebraska is gonna run the ball 47 times.
Yes.
They're going to win, 24-17 because Colorado just won't get the ball enough. Sanders will turn it over. Travis Hunter is eventually going to get gassed. And that all being said, Colorado -2.5, 1-unit play, no doubt.
No, give me my theme music.
Do you believe?
Do you believe?
I do.
Do you believe?
Also, if they lose, we can make fun of Colorado next week. So, I mean,
and it doesn't matter if I lose because I'm going to be up so many units that this isn't going to affect me.
This is free money.
You got any NFL picks you like this week? Week 1 of NFL.
I do. I'll give some bonus NFL picks, which I really like.
I love your 2-team alt. You do these 2-team alt things in the NFL. You do a lot of teasers in the NFL.
I do a lot of teasers in college. In the pros, what I like to do is I like to tease underdogs a lot in the pros.
Yeah, you take them like to the max. You'll take like a team like the 21.5 point underdog.
I like to get the teasers in. And like I said, a lot of people hate on teasers, but here's the deal. You're never going to become a millionaire betting teasers, but what you're going to do is you're going to build a steady bankroll. And that's kind of what we want to do.
Okay. We like that.
Take some moonshots. But for these pro games, what I like to do, because
the games always end in a one score.
Yeah, they're so close that if you grab the underdogs in week 1 in the NFL are unbelievable, especially division underdogs.
Really?
Something like a 75% cover rate for division underdogs in week 1.
I didn't know this.
So
and unders too. The unders in early in the
unders
season
will be a big play. What I've done is I have taken $25 and I've played every underdog money line, and I've taken $50 and I've taken every underdog against the spread this week blind. Fired it.
Wait, what'd you do?
25 on every underdog money line.
Okay.
Across the board. $50 on every underdog against the spread in the NFL and just fired it blindly.
What about unders?
I haven't played the unders. I will do some targeted bets later on in the week.
I might have to do that spray and pray.
It's usually a pretty good thing for week 1 of the NFL.
Dude, I can't wait for us to just get our doors blown off and just be like
it would be the first time in a long time, because here's the deal. It's the first week. Everybody wants to bet the really good teams that they've been hearing about. So the books just juice it to the max. The lines will sharpen up in a couple weeks, but those
I think Dolphins. I think the Dolphins and Titans went outright.
I could see that.
They're both dogs.
My big play, which I had with Duke, which I had Duke plus, I took Duke up to plus 14. I took Detroit up to 10.5, and that was before the Kelsey Chris Jones news. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. We'll see.
Yeah, you are.
NFL is more of a hobby. College football is more of a lifestyle for me when it's gambling. But
People ask me, like, do I gamble on NFL? I say my game doesn't translate. I'm a college guy.
you're like, no, I'm a size speed guy. I
Yeah.
like it. I think it's fun. I think what I like to do is take some of the money I won on Saturday and play around with it. But it's just a different ballgame. This is an NFL pod. We only play 80s Joel. Sorry.
Strictly 80s Joel music, sir.
Strictly 80s Joel in here, this pod. But let me do any other picks. Are you good?
None that I want to give on the pod, no.
Sure. Okay, let's recap this. Frankie Dimes, Purdue money line plus 120, 2 units. James Madison minus 6.5, 2 units. Marshall, where he will be in attendance, minus 1.5, 2 units. Utah minus 7, 2 units.
A lot of road dogs. Or a lot of road
dogs.
team.
4-team money line parlay. Rutgers, Notre Dame, Missouri, Utah. That's plus 140, 2 units. And then Colorado, Coach Prime. Do you believe?
Do you believe?
Do you believe? Minus 2.5 2-unit play.
Did you hear that? Is it you tell me to watch Cover 3 podcast? Did you?
Oh, great pod.
I think they've been playing that soundbite. That do you believe?
Oh my God, he was talking to Ed Werder, the guy.
I heard. Yeah, that's what I heard. It was Ed Werder, dude.
He's Cowboys beat reporter.
He's been on the NFL or like ESPN for decades, and he's like, "Do you believe?"
Oh my God, dude, Dion is out of control.
The thing, dude, Dion, bro, it's one game against a team that's not that good, bro. And he's like, I have the receipts. The dog. It's like one game.
Like it or love it, Dion in college football is great. It just is. I mean, it's
a friend of mine who's a comedian had a tweet that popped off that Travis Hunter thinks is hilarious.
What's that?
He says, I'm going Travis Hunter mode at the bar, flirting with guys and girls. And Travis Hunter, he was talking about it in practice. Like, he's like, look at this tweet. And he's laughing.
That was incredible. Dude played like 100-some snaps and was probably the best player on the field.
He was, bro. And also, if you're TCU, bro, why are you throwing at him? Why are you throwing at him?
How many texts did I send you? I said, why are we throwing at that dude?
You're on the goal line, and it's like, let's run to the flats. Let's run to the flat side where he can jump the route, bro.
And he did. God, whatever. Give that dude his flowers. Honestly, one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen in college football is that dude being the best player on both sides of the ball.
I love that. It's like a video game.
Dude's a stud. All right, I'm going to do my quick recap. Rutgers minus 9.5, 1 unit. Texas A&M minus 4.5, 1 unit. Maryland team total over 37, 1 unit. I really like that play. Notre Dame minus 3.5. Alabama, Texas under 63.5. That is an even money 2-unit parlay.
Okay.
And then I'm riding Colorado minus 2.5 because for the memes, because I believe.
Just for the. Do you believe?
I do, Coach Prime. I do. You humbled me.
We have some time here, unless you got to go.
What do you got?
I have the L word. This is the list.
Okay.
This is the short list I've created for Neil Brown's replacements.
Okay. I'm definitely here for this conversation. I want to hear. I'm going to give you a yay or nay. I'm going to give you a thumbs up or thumbs down.
So it starts with G5 head coaches.
Okay.
And then it goes down to P5 coordinators / move ups / like guys who are P5 head coaches that can move up / guys who are fired or whatever they're doing.
And so it's called the L word?
The list.
Oh, not like the lesbian Skinamax show from like 10 years ago?
I didn't know that was a show.
It's called the L word. It's about lesbians.
I mean, I get that.
But I'd explain for the rest of the
kids. Thought the L word was love, which I've never been in.
Not on most recent searches on the internet, but go for it.
Okay, number 1, G5 head coach, Willie Fritz.
Okay.
Also, I want you to give me a yes, you like it, or a yes, and yes, you can see it potentially happening.
Fritz, I like. I don't know if I see it.
Okay. Jason Candle with Toledo.
I don't think it's a big enough name.
Okay. Kurt Signetti, former WU quarterback, JMU head coach.
That's probably in the most likely category.
Okay. Charles Huff. Charles Huff. Top recruiter. He hasn't proven enough. He hasn't proven enough wins and losses.
Not a big enough name.
Okay. Dave Clawson. This is the move ups now. Now that we're in the move ups.
Would he want to leave for West Virginia?
Maybe, probably not. This is the coordinator, Brian Hartline, best recruiter in the country.
I think he is going to be an NFL OC.
Okay.
I
He's an
think that
NFL
is his
guy.
most likely because he
Does
is.
Jim
But he
Knowles
is
does Jim Knowles have baggage?
the Oklahoma State guy.
No, he's defensive coordinator at Ohio State.
Who am I thinking of? No, I don't know.
Okay, let's move on. Um, defensive analyst at Illinois, Jim Leonard. This is the list. This isn't like definite. This is just, hey, let's see what we got.
I think he's a good coach. I think he's going to go low Power 5 first. I think
Okay, he's got to
maybe
prove
I'm
himself.
maybe I'm too inflated on the West Virginia coaching search, but I feel like after this debacle, I mean, you look at how quick the Duke turnaround was and how these teams turn around. I think they're going to bring a guy in that is going to do an immediate turnaround.
I have hold on, I have a few more names.
Okay.
Jimbo.
Texas A&M would have to absolutely flame out this year.
Okay, I don't think they will though. I think they're going to be all
No,
right.
I think this is the best team they've had in a while.
Tony Gibson.
Oh, the only way I would see that is if they miss the coaching carousel and they just need some new.
I buy that. I got 3 more names.
Okay.
Cliff Kingsbury. But if you get him, you're getting in bed with a guy who's going to want to hook up with the hottest person that comes along next time.
That's fine. I don't think Cliff. I think after the Graham Harrell flash out, I think they are going to go with a dude that, like you said, is more in the college game.
Yeah.
But I don't. It's not a bad name because you know he's going to come back, or is he going to try to go?
He's an analyst at USC this year. He's just hanging out with Caleb Williams all year.
He'll bounce back.
Yeah. And then I got 2 more names. Both of them are G5 head coaches. Kane Womack. He's a head coach at South Al.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one is Rich Rod.
There is definitely
we could talk 15 minutes about Rich Rod.
There's definitely a portion of the fan base that probably wants him back.
And there's a large part of the donor community that wants Rich Rod back.
I think ideally, here is ideal. I don't know if
the guy who owns the Arizona Diamondbacks will liquidate that entire roster to get Rich Rod back.
I don't think this is a pipe dream, but the pipe dream would be to get. I don't think he would leave Kansas, but Leopold would be my best one.
Lance Leopold,
where we just throw a bag at him,
and
say we want Leopold, or you go and find one of those G5 coaches and you bring Rich Rod back and just have him run the offense. I don't know if you do that. I don't know. That is completely hypothetical, but that would be kind of the who used to do that all the time? Not former NFL or NBA coach, not Hubie Brown. He coached Iverson. I always forget the name, but they would do that a lot where they'd bring in that's more of an NBA thing. They'll bring in an older coach to kind of prop up the new coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I always like when they do that because you can kind of bring the guy in, get the guy that's a recruiter NIL, and then you could just leave the X and O's, the chalk to the dude that knows what he's doing. So I think in an ideal world, I know that Chadwell's gone to Liberty, but I think Leopold would be once again.
So that's it. I just named you 15 names.
That's a great name. I mean, that's a great list. That's probably going to be. There's probably some West Virginia coaching search that's going to pay somebody like $400,000 to give them that same list. So,
dude, the fact you just said that is so factual. It actually pisses me off.
Yeah, they're going to pay some search team that's going to come back with that same list, but I don't think. And if we can talk about West Virginia, because we really haven't talked about West Virginia, I think we've tried to do it, try to just bury it. But they have Duquesne this week. They're going to beat Duquesne.
Yay!
Next week is Pitt, right? The 16th. That week, that is going to determine his job.
I've come to terms with the fact that he's not getting fired till Jan 1. And I think people need to understand that. Unless he gets full on throttled to the point where the donors are like, we'll pay it.
If he loses to Pitt and they are heading to a December or late November game with no chance of a bowl, they'll turf him.
Okay.
Because you got to get ahead of the coaching carousel. Because I think
you do. With this portal and everything, teams are turning around in 1 year. Dion brought in 80 guys.
Look at it. Look at the team. Look at Texas State. Look at fucking Duke. I mean, look at Duke in a quick 2-year term. Not with portal players, but there's no excuse for West Virginia to be this bad 5 years in a row. They don't need to be a 10 or 11 win team every year, but
9 to give me a 9.
Yeah, and even Pat McAfee said it best. He was like, they were talking about, and I'm not the biggest McAfee guy, I'll put that, but he was
I
talking
am.
about, he was like, for West Virginia, for the expectation to go to Penn State, and for the fans, which are some of the most passionate, hardcore fans, to be like, I hope we don't get blown out. That never used to happen.
No,
West
we
Virginia
went we
always,
went down to Auburn, and it's like, let's go.
let's go. We always, when we played Alabama, we're like, let's do it. We don't
Yeah,
think we're going to win, but we have a fighter's chance. Everybody I talked to that was a West Virginia fan going into this game was like, I just hope we don't get embarrassed,
that's what Neil's done.
and it's completely against. He doesn't have any explosive plays. The fact that he
There's no.
decides that
What are we? It's like, what are we?
that's exactly right. We used to be known for fast offense. We used to be known for athleticism. Now we're known for bad quarterback play, pretty much, which never used to be the case.
We haven't had a quarterback in 6 years.
No, which is insane. And whatever. Neil, great guy, but look at. I mean, what I thought he was going to be our Dabo Sweeney, and it turns out he's Dabo Sweeney just without a great quarterback.
Turns out he's Dabo Sweeney now.
He's Dabo Sweeney now, which is
He's sped run Dabo Sweeney.
He did. He's a great. He is. This is
He's
going
a
to
good talker.
He's great at everything but winning.
Yeah. No, we've had no like issues with crimes with the team. We've had no like craziness.
No, good recruiter, seems to be good with the donors. I mean, it's just the number one thing he can't do is win, and unfortunately, winning is the only
business.
thing.
Yeah,
that's the only thing any cares about. You can look at Georgia. Georgia has dudes going fucking NASCAR every 15 minutes at practice.
Don't care.
Don't care. What's the
killed
score
people?
line?
He killed somebody.
Literally, and what's the score line? And I think that's if we could get a big time hire in here.
So who would you get? So Lance Leipold is the only name on your list. Who else is on your list? I just named you 15. Who else you got?
Signetti's obviously a big one. I think Signetti's the most. If you had to do like a DraftKings odds, I think Signetti's probably at your top of your list.
Signetti would be cool. It worries me how much older he is. I wish we could get a kind of a younger guy. But Signetti wouldn't want to leave. Like his dad was the head coach here. He played quarterback here.
Look at fucking Mac Brown. I mean, he's still rolling at that age. I mean, I don't think age in college football, as long as you get a good staff. I think Signetti. I like Leopold. It's just for right now, and I think
people are going to want to take their ex back with Rich Rod.
I think next week it'd be fun to talk about what would you put the odds at, because Jimbo would be on that list.
No, he would
probably he'd be way too short of a bet to place it on, because he's not very realistic. But and also let's see how this season goes. There's always one or two names that bubble up as the season goes on.
Yeah.
But you know what? We'll see. I don't know, somebody that can run a fucking offense. Somebody can score above 30 points and get explosive plays. That's all I care about. If we're going to lose, let's at least lose with more than 17 points.
Someone is going to be like, oh, Sean Lewis had a good program at Kent State. That you can't win there. Oh, now he's putting up points at Colorado, and now he's going to be like a P5 head coach.
We loved Sean Lewis as an OC last year. Or as a head coach last year. We loved him putting up the points. That was one of my favorite teams.
Dude, Kent, it's so hard to win at Kent. He did it.
Dude was just scoring all over the board. But I mean, this is the final thing I'm going to say about it. Watching that West Virginia game, I've never seen a group of wide receivers that looked less athletic. I mean, I know Garrett Green didn't look great, but there was no separation.
Dude, we ran that reverse flea flicker, not the one with Nico, the one that Neil should be fired for, but the one earlier in the game. And the guy, Dwayne Carter or Devin Carter or whatever, gave up on his route on the post. If he ran, that's a touchdown. He just quit.
I mean, none of the receivers. We lost Winston Wright. We lost Ford Wheaton. We lost Prather. And,
Sam James.
You lose. Sam, if you lose your entire receiving core and you bring back one dude from NC State and then
one guy from Marshall who didn't play.
Yeah.
Rodney Gallagher, I don't even know if he touched the field.
He did. Preston Fox.
Trelon Ray. Who I was excited about hearing in camp. He caught one ball at the end of the game for nothing.
We'll see. You know what? We'll see how we look against Duquesne. Obviously, we're going to look great, but the Pitt game will be the true decider, because that's going to be Pitt is a good team. That's a good measuring stick. Penn State is really good. So it's not that we lost to Penn State that the sky's falling. It's just you'd have hoped to see some explosive plays against that defense, even though they're pretty good defense.
Something. All right. I'm excited. I'm excited to go to the game.
I can't wait to hear about it.
Man, I wish you were on this trip, man.
Me too, brother. Me too. But like I said, I'm going to hear all about it.
This is gonna be a big week for me because I got a lot of units out there, and I believe in my guys.
You got a ton of units. You got a trip with the boys, and I can't wait to hear about all the stories next week on the pod.
Sounds good, man. All right, I'll see you, pal.
Peace, buddy. Good night.
Good night.